G'day guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we are camping in this amazing forest in the southwest of Western Australia. This afternoon has been far from smooth sailing. I'm supposed to be camping next to a river, but to say I got a little bit lost is an understatement. Absolute disaster. Had the drone up. I don't know where I am. There's no water in sight. It's not at all where I thought I was. This track's really tight here, so I've just jumped out of the car for a bit of a walk. I can hear the water, like, a bit of a stream on this side, but I'm not sure where this track actually leads to, so looks alright. I'll jump back in the car and drive down. I just don't want to get into a position where you get somewhere and you can't turn around, you're completely stuck and have to reverse a couple of k's back up this tight track. So looks okay. Hear that water. And there's something. We'll see. The track is still super tight. Definitely a few pinstripes on the old car after this, I think, but we're heading down, which is a good thing, obviously. So hopefully at some stage that this is going to open up and we'll find a bit of place. Jesus. Yeah, hopefully soon it's going to open up and we'll find a place to be able to camp. It's bloody beautiful here. The trees are so tall, just incredible area. But yeah, it's just whether this is going to sort of open up anywhere to actually be able to lay out a swag or not. I'm worn out. The track's got so tight, and the car, it's like breaking my heart for the car. It's getting absolutely scratched to shit. So I'm sort of like, so I've quickly ran down the track to see if there is anything ahead, and the track just seems to keep on going. So at the moment, it's working out which is the lesser of two evils, to try and turn around, which it's going to be really hard. There's maybe a little spot up ahead, or to keep on going along this track and seeing where it comes out. But it just seems to keep going and going and going. I'm going to get the drone up to see if that can maybe help me out a little bit. But at the moment, I'm in a real pickle. I don't know, whether to keep going or turn around. Turning around is going to be near on impossible. So we'll get the drone up and see if that can give us a bit of info and help. Absolute disaster. Had the drone up. I don't know where I am. There's no water in sight. It's not at all where I thought I was. So I found one little spot. I'm going to try and turn around. I think the best thing to do is going to be to sort of angle in forward off the side of the track and then sort of try and reverse around into a bit of a hole on this side. So we'll see how we go, and then we've got to sort of make it back up the track as well, which has been super tight the whole way. alarms of the car are gonna go crazy for this as well. That was one of the worst things I've had to do. That took me forever to turn around. I put the camera away. I had to get the axe out and I was chopping down bits of tree, and eventually I've been able to turn around. But the worst thing is you can hear that scraping along the car now, and as I said before, that is absolutely tearing apart my heart. The worst thing is now I've got just as much shit to get back through as I did just then, like turning around and stuff. This is at least, you know, 2 or 3 Ks back amongst the most tight track, and it's just scratching the whole way along. When I bought this car, you know, the car's 10 years old, still doesn't mean you don't want to treat it right. When I bought it, I was always like, you know, just because it's new and I don't want to not sort of take it places. You know, there's no point having a full drive if you're not prepared to take it off-road a little bit, but this is like next level stuff. And yeah, some of the sticks and branches and stuff as I'm driving through, yeah, not great. So once we get out of this really tight track, we'll jump out and assess the damage, but it's been an absolute absolute nightmare for the last, I reckon I've been here probably about an hour just trying to turn around. So it's a lesson of what not to do. Oh, it's good. Oh, back out on some decent track now. That was so bad. I can't believe yeah, that track ended up sort of that way. I thought we were definitely running down to a nice little, you know, bit of creek or a bit of river or something like that. That was an absolute disaster. It's now almost 4 o'clock as well, so I don't know how I'm gonna sort of find some of those spots where I wanted to be. So I think I'm just gonna just around the corner from where I am now, where I was before I took another couple of wrong turns there. There was you know, a bit of track and an area to pull up. So I think I might just go in there, abandon the sort of the river situation, and instead I'll just pull up around here so I can still light a fire and enjoy that. But yeah, just have a rest for a while. That was an absolute joke. Now I've just pulled up in the spot I want to camp tonight. The first thing I want to do is get a fire going to get a bit of a coal base for a stew I'm going to put in the camp oven. Obviously no shortage of wood around here for the fire, so I'm going to collect a bit of that and then we'll get the fire going and then get onto this stew. Now, my camping gear has been gathering dust for the last year, so we'll see if hopefully the matches work. And I don't have any paper or anything like that, so let's hope that the toilet paper that we've got there will do the trick. Everything's really wet around here, still in winter, so hopefully something's going to take off. Obviously there's no shortage of wood, it's just a matter of getting it to go. So tonight I'm cooking a beef and red wine stew. I really love cooking when I'm out in the bush, you know, chucking on a fire, and particularly making something like this where you're putting it in to, you know, the one pot and just slow cooking it for a long period of time. I absolutely love that. But I've arrived at camp because of all the mess around earlier on today a lot later than I'd like. So this one, I might have to sort of speed up the process a little bit to actually eat it before it's midnight tonight. So first and foremost, I'm going to chop up some root vegetables. So we've got 3 carrots. That was only because they were the world's smallest carrots. So we'll chop up 3, but normally 1 would be totally fine. It's just loosely chopped. They're going to soften up in the cooking process. And a sweet potato as well, again just loosely chopped. Everything's going to soften up in this process. Now I'm using my trusty table that I've had with me forever, so I bet on this close-up camera it's looking really clean. There are a couple of potatoes going in as well. So pretty big chunks. So onion cut up pretty finely. I don't have a very good knife, so I'll do the best I can. How nice is this? So peaceful. You can hear a few birds chirping, but for a winter's night, I'm still in a shirt and shorts. It's a pretty good night. Okay, top and tail the garlic. We'll just peel those and we'll loosely crush and cut them up as well. Give that a chop off. Now, just with this knife, it's not too easy to make the garlic super fine, but we'll go as good as we can. And then because it's going to be slow cooked, it'll be in the camp oven for a fair bit of time. You're not going to end up with massive chunks of garlic, it'll cook right down. Alright, onto our meat. This is some chuck steak. Again, they're going to be relatively large, you know, sort of cubes. A few different sizes. I'm not going to worry too much about the fat either. I'm going to keep that on. I like that in there. I think it all adds to the flavour. So, you know, your cut of meat, it's definitely, you know, something like this for slow cooking. You could have, you know, brisket probably as well. But I like using a bit of chuck for this sort of stuff. So we'll power through this. Once this meat is cut up, we then get into some of the cooking. So that's all that's going to go into this in terms of, you know, vegetables and that sort of stuff. The rest will be stocks and the red wine and etc., etc. to make it great. hard to get much heat going in this fire, so I've tried to get it moving now just with some sticks that aren't sitting right on the ground. Obviously it's still dead stuff, but the stuff that's on the ground is really wet and it's not generating any heat. So I'll use this fire as it is now and just keep turning the camp oven around, but hopefully that still gets enough heat through it to be able to brown off the onion and garlic to start with, and then I'll get in that beef as well to brown that off, and we'll move on from there. And go the onion and garlic, slight bit of sizzle. It's not super hot in there, but I think just enough to get this moving, and we'll get this fire going a little bit more around it as well, and I think we should have enough heat here to make it work. All right, I'm gonna put the meat in now. The onion has been in there for probably a good 5 minutes or so, really trying to get this heat going, but not a lot's happening, so it is getting there, and the camp oven is definitely warming up as well. So I think the meat can go in now, and the oven's gonna be hot enough to really get it going. All right, just looking to lightly brown off this meat, which it is now. I'm gonna put in the vegetables. Just give them a bit of a stir around on this high heat. I'm gonna add about 500 mils of stock, so half of this container, and about 300 mils of red wine, fair bit. I'm gonna cover everything that's in there, but this is gonna cook for so long, that red wine will cook down and cook out a bit, and everything will reduce. And so that, I'm just gonna add a few sprigs of thyme. I'll take them out at the end, so it doesn't matter that they're not cut up. I'm just going to sit in there to create some flavour, and also a couple of bay leaves as well. Good whack of salt and pepper. And 2 tablespoons. I pretty much just always chuck in a whole container of tomato paste. I've been letting this side of the fire die down a little bit now to create those coals that I want. So I still, as I said before, want to keep the fire. I want some heat tonight for me. I'm going to take some of those coals, I'll get them underneath that camp oven, get the lid on, put a few on top. That'll be more than enough to keep it going for the next couple of hours and keep it nice and warm in there as everything just sort of slow cooks and combines. Lid on, try and get any coals in there. How's the plume of smoke? Wet wood. It's pretty much just smoke, not a whole lot of heat at the moment. So we've got the fire going on this side for me to keep me warm tonight, and I'll continue to build that up a little bit. Got the camp oven on that side with some coals underneath and some coals on top. Now I want this to cook and simmer away for the next couple of hours. It's going to be obviously dark by then, and I don't have any great lighting at all tonight. So in the morning I'll let you know how the meal went, but hopefully with that just sort of all combining away in there for the next couple of hours, it should be absolutely perfect.
It's gonna cry, it's gonna cry. River's gonna cry when you're gone. It's gonna cry, it's gonna cry. Hey, I heard you want to leave this place where we grew up. This old town, just leave it all behind. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.